Okay, hi everybody. So right now we're going to do a very quick video on tonight's homework. Again, you could earn 3 points like you could earn the previous nights. For tonight's homework, we're going to continue talking about the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah, and we're going to also go through a story or two about the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah. So there's the famous story of Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah. There are 3 of the people that are a part of the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah. And the story goes that when the Jewish people were exiled out of Eretz Yisrael, because the Babylonian king came and he burnt down the first Beis HaMikdash. His name was King Nebuchadnezzar. And he destroyed it. He burnt it to the ground. After he burnt it to the ground, he took all the Jewish people out of Eretz Yisrael and he brought them to Bavel. Right? To modern day Iraq. And when he brought them to Bavel, what happened? The Jews were forced to live in the cities in Bavel. They were not allowed to leave. They had to stay in that country. Like they couldn't go on vacation back to Eretz Yisrael or anywhere else, really. But Daniel and Mishael and Hananiah and Azariah, they were brought to become advisors to the king and also representatives of the Jewish people. Because every person in the kingdom, every type of people, let's say you had the Persians and you had the Iraqis and you had the Syrians and you had the Babylonians, any person had to have a representative from their community go to the king. That was like a requirement. It was something that they had to do. And three of these people were Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah. And when they came before the king of Bavel, and they were brought before him, he had a big statue. This was the king of Bavel, was King Nebuchadnezzar. He had a big statue. And this big statue was a statue of himself. He made his own statue. In the Gemara, there's an argument. Some people say this statue was an Avodah Zarah. It was literally pure Avodah Zarah. It was idol worship, which obviously a Jewish person is not allowed to bow down to. A Yid is not allowed to bow down to such a thing. It's wrong. It's asur. But many people say that it was actually not Avodah Zarah, but it was just the king saying, bow down to my idol, bow down to me. Regardless of which one it is, every person from across the world was there. Because Babylon, the country that destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, King Nebuchadnezzar that destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, he didn't just conquer Eretz Yisrael. He conquered all the countries. Many, many, many countries. Egypt, Syria, Ethiopia, all these countries are conquered by him. So representatives from every single country was in this place. They were all there, including Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah, because they were representing the Jewish people. And he said over there, you have to bow down. And every person from across the world bowed down to the idol. Some people in the Gemara say it was an idol, but regardless, everybody bows down to this statue of King Nebuchadnezzar. And when they all bow down to it, 3 people are standing. That's it. 3 people are standing. And those 3 people are Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah. And they say, we're not bowing down. We only believe in one Hashem, and he is our king. Our king is not King Nebuchadnezzar. King Nebuchadnezzar can be the king of the Babylonians, but the king of the Jewish people is Hashem. And we are not bowing down to him. And the guards were told by the king, arrest the 3 of them. And all 3 of them were taken and arrested by the king. And there was a huge furnace over there, like a big fire in a big pit. And they took the 3 people, Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah, and they brought them into the pit, and they chucked them inside. They pushed them inside. Some people say it was like an oven, not a pit. So whatever it was a big fire. And they pushed all 3 of them inside. And everybody said, oh, they died, they killed them. Oi, oi, oi. But the reality was that only a few moments later, Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah stood up and walked out of the fire. Their clothing wasn't burnt. Their hair wasn't burnt. Their yarmulkes weren't burnt. Their tzitzis wasn't burnt. Their clothing, nothing was burnt. They were fine. It was a miracle. A humongous miracle. They were okay. Everybody around the world heard about this because all of them had representatives there. There were representatives from everywhere. So the people from India and the people from Iraq and from Afghanistan and from Pakistan and from all these countries saw the miracle happen, that the God of the Jews protect Bnei Yisrael. They could protect the Jewish people. Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah walked out of the fire, and the king said, okay, if their God's going to do a miracle for them, I'm not going to touch them. Not only that, but they became advisors to the king of Nebuchadnezzar. These three people were a part of the Anshe Knesset Gedolah we talked about yesterday, where they made the halachos of davening, and they also made the halachos of muksa. Remember we spoke about muksa. Some of the other things that they did is they made it that every single Jewish boy needs to go to school. Every Jewish boy needs to go to school. They said, we need to make it organized that there are schools and svarim for every boy. And that even if a kid doesn't go to a Jewish school, he has to learn Torah. It's not a question if, it's a question when. He has to do it now. The answer is now. This was an amazing thing that the people prepared for the Jewish people for the rest of time. And that's why every Jewish boy and every Jewish girl needs to learn Torah, because it's a part of the Jewish people from the giving of the Torah, but it was established even then. Did you know that every country didn't have schools? The idea of having a school is a new idea in the world. Every country only got schools recently. Back in the time, there were no schools. The only people in the world that had a school was Bnei Yisrael, because every Jewish boy needs to learn Torah and do mitzvah. The last thing I want to say is this lesson from the story that we learned today of Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah is the lesson about making a Kiddush Hashem. When we go to a park, when we go to the pool, when we go and we walk outside, when we go to Adventureland, when we go to American Dream, when we go to David Buster's, whatever trip we're going to go to, whatever trip you're going to go to with your family, you need to make a Kiddush Hashem. You need to make a way to show that this is what a Jewish boy is. That we are the children of Hashem, and we represent Hashem, and we're proud of it, and we're going to do our best to act in a way that Hashem wants us to act in. And with that, everybody have a good night.